What if a simple flight turned into a battleground for respect and humanity? This wasn't just another trip for Barron Trump. It was a moment that would challenge his values and reveal a surprising side of him to the world. As the flight began, Barron settled into the routine of the journey. But when an elderly veteran was unjustly confronted by a fellow passenger, Barron's quiet observation turned into a decisive moment. With the weight of the situation pressing on him, he made a choice that would echo throughout the cabin, igniting a ripple effect of compassion and respect. What unfolded wasn't just a resolution. It was an example of how one person's courage can shift the energy in a room, showing that even in the most ordinary of settings, extraordinary actions can unfold. The soft hum of the cabin greeted Donald, Millennium, and Barron Trump as they settled into their seats on a commercial flight, the first-class cabin buzzing with quiet chatter. Barron, now 18, leaned back, adjusting his headphones, while Donald scrolled through his phone and Millennium read a book. Nearby, an older man in his 60s, wearing a cap adorned with military insignia, sat silently, his weathered hands resting on his knees. The flight attendants moved down the aisle, assisting passengers, but something about the man caught Barron's attention. His quiet demeanor seemed to contrast with the growing irritation of a passenger seated nearby. "Excuse me, but can you keep your bag out of my space?" The passenger snapped, glaring at the veteran. The older man apologized softly, adjusting his carry-on, but the tone of the interaction lingered in the air. As the plane reached cruising altitude, the incident seemed to fade, but the tension lingered. A flight attendant approached the veteran, her tone brisk. "Sir, if you can't stow your bag properly, we may need to move it to the cargo hold." Barron, observing the exchange, noticed the man's discomfort. "Is that really necessary?" Barron thought to himself, his gaze shifting between the attendant and the man, who seemed hesitant to respond. The murmurs from nearby passengers grew louder. Some seemed to support the flight attendant, while others whispered disapproval. Barron's curiosity turned to resolve. He removed his headphones and turned to his parents. "I want to help him," he said firmly. Millennium looked up from her book, her brow furrowed with concern. "Are you sure, Barron?" Donald glanced over, raising an eyebrow. "If you think you can handle it, go ahead," he said, nodding. Millennium sighed, but offered a supportive smile. "Just be respectful," she advised. Barron stood and approached the veteran. "Excuse me, sir. Is everything okay?" The man looked up, surprised. "Oh, it's nothing. Just a misunderstanding," he said, his voice calm but weary. Barron turned to the flight attendant. "Is there a problem with his bag? If it's a space issue, I can help find another spot." The attendant hesitated, taken aback by the teenager's polite but firm tone. "It's against policy," she began, but Barron interjected gently. "He's a veteran. Surely we can make an exception." The exchange drew the attention of more passengers. Some nodded in agreement, while others seemed content to watch. "Look," Barron continued, "he's not asking for special treatment. Let's just find a solution without making it a bigger deal than it needs to be." The flight attendant pursed her lips but eventually relented. "Fine, let me see what I can do," she said, moving away. The veteran looked at Barron, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, young man," he said quietly. Barron smiled. "No problem, sir. You deserve respect." But just as the situation seemed resolved, the disgruntled passenger from earlier spoke up. "Why does he get special treatment? We all have to follow the rules." Barron turned to face the man, his calm demeanor unwavering. This isn't about special treatment. It's about showing respect to someone who's served our country. Surely we can all agree on that. The man muttered something under his breath, but the murmurs from other passengers drowned him out. "He's right," someone said. "Let it go," added another. The flight attendant returned, having found space for the veteran's bag. "All sorted," she said, her tone softer. The veteran nodded appreciatively, and Barron returned to his seat. Donald gave him a subtle thumbs up, while Melanian smiled warmly. "You handled that well," she said quietly. As the flight continued, the atmosphere in the cabin shifted. Passengers who had initially been indifferent now engaged in friendly conversation. The veteran's quiet dignity and Barron's intervention had sparked something unexpected, a sense of camaraderie. Nearby, a young boy turned to his mother, asking what a veteran was, sparking a gentle conversation about service and sacrifice. A woman offered to share her snacks with the veteran, and another passenger commented on how one act of kindness can change the mood of an entire room. When the plane landed, several passengers approached the veteran, thanking him for his service. One even offered to carry his bag. Another handed him a handwritten note, expressing gratitude for his sacrifices. Barron watched these interactions with a quiet smile, feeling a growing sense of pride in having been part of this moment. As the Trumps disembarked, Barron glanced back at the veteran, who gave him a small wave. "You did good, kid," Donald said, patting Barron on the shoulder. Barron smiled, feeling a quiet sense of pride. The day had started as an ordinary flight, but it ended as a reminder of the power of respect and kindness lessons that resonated far beyond the cabin of that plane. It hadn't been an easy experience, but it was one she hoped would leave a lasting impact, not just on those involved, but on everyone who heard the story, because sometimes the most powerful lessons come from moments of adversity, and the way we respond can inspire others to rise above prejudice and embrace kindness. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who might need a reminder about the importance of respect and fairness. Let's make a difference together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that inspire reflection and change.